Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John. Better if you call me JC. This is the first speech I've done for a long time. For many years, I've been wanting to straighten the catastrophe that is about to hit this country like nothing ever has in its history. The reason being that it has been run into the ground by what is known as the law. The law used to be respected because it was meant to have justice as the basis for it. Unfortunately, with the length of time, justice has disappeared, and now we should know and call it by its proper name, the injustice system. I want to deviate for a few minutes to explain exactly why this country has got into the terrible mess it's in. After the Second World War, with the excesses of Hitler and the Nazis, it was decided by all the powers that be in Europe and other countries as well to completely delete punishment. And the only punishment which deterred people up to then had been in the physical world, physical punishment. In other words, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And all we get now is words, and have done gradually to the summit of failure, which we've got now, when the biggest criminals can run the country, and they know, even at the top, that whatever happens, they will never be hurt. They may just get a few weeks in what we call jail, or that's to say a 3-star hotel. It's no exaggeration to say this, where no one will work and they will be really well looked after. So the people who commit crime have got no respect for the law at all, because they know that the law has vanished. The result has been that eventually, even the people at the top knew, and I can call it, they used to call it white-collar crime, knew very well that they would never be hurt. And so eventually, we got to a stage where money, which is the objective of everybody's life, but some people have got principle with it, but there are few, because money now takes the place of principle. They knew at the top, even in banks, at the top, that they could get away with taking the money out of the accounts of the people who had accounts in the banks, and they could bet with it on the stock exchange or wherever, to a tune where eventually 100 billion was lost from the accounts of account holders in various banks. This meant that it would have been a run on the banks, and people would have been using the methods of Boudica in the Roman times, which were not words. However, the government decided that they would back the banks with public money, because they themselves were also friends of all the top bankers. And I'm not talking about bank employees, because the banks, to have success, should be run to help business by ordinary counter staff or local managers who understand life, who are not there to make billions because they can't, and that they are there also because they've got principle and they know the people they're dealing with. And that's how life is. Unfortunately, we're in the hands of these crooks at the moment, which eventually will create a war. And it'll be the last war with arms, because the next one after that will be with sticks and stones. I've got a few notes here, but this is my first speech. I will make a lot of speeches because we need to start a movement so that ordinary people, and they're the ones who are suffering most, are the ones who will suffer less. And those at the top who've created mayhem have stolen from ordinary people will be punished. And it won't be with words. Now, the great problem facing this country are the same methods, exactly the same methods now, which are well hidden, as Hitler used to murder the Jews. A great and wonderful, intelligent people with a soft center and kindness which doesn't exist elsewhere. And he did it by brainwashing the German people with what we would now call political correctness. That is to say, trying to alter what God couldn't do. And this is happening in this country now, trying to pit the poorest people against the brick wall and make them poorer. And they are the ones who can create a better life. They are the ones who can produce everything now virtually is produced in other countries. Now, why is that? Because of the greatest crime also. One of the greatest crimes had been to send the factory to another country which had virtually very low wages, which eventually resulted in globalization, which will eventually result in hostilities between other countries. It cannot be otherwise. And of course, to do this, for Hitler to eventually persuade the German people that the Jews were evil people when they were exactly the opposite, he had to use brainwashing methods. To do that, he had to use his bureaucracy to disseminate all these lies. This caused the greatest crime.